What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Over the weekend, Spider-Man No Way Home dropped to a massive theatrical release, dwarfing the MCU Phase 4 and just entirely obliterating the notion that there's innumerable excuses, right? Why people aren't going to the movie theater. The reason the success of this film, which I couldn't see because I have the coof, I'll see it. I don't know what the exact protocol is. I'm still not feeling great anyway. Probably have to wait till the new year to see it. You know, I got to be responsible. I don't want to get anyone else sick. But what this film's gigantic success proves is that no, it isn't the coof that's keeping people away from movie theaters. It's mediocre movies that are keeping people away from movie theaters. It's ideological movies that are keeping people away from movie theaters. It's not that, oh, this particular week had a spike. Can you even differentiate what week there was a spike in the coof and what week there wasn't? Every week is a spike. It's freaking flu season. Everybody freaking has it right now. It's insane. $500 million in the theater without China. Without China. Think about that. The Eternals. And again, by the way, none of these movies were inherently terrible. The Eternals was a movie that I knew was going to tank because nobody wanted that. Yes, I know. I get your emails when there's a few of my viewers that are hardcore Eternals fans, but you must understand you are in the overwhelming minority. When you see the release of Black Widow, a movie that I had a lot of anticipation for, but you know, due to the lockdowns and shutdowns, all the interest kind of faded away. Shang-Chi, a fine action movie. Nothing inherently bad with Shang-Chi, nothing inherently super woke about it, but no one really wanted it. It wasn't a film that people wanted. It was a film, in my opinion, that Disney and Marvel pushed forward to the front of the line because of a natural diversity that existed there. And that makes obviously a lot more sense than like gender swapping, race swapping, all this kind of stuff, which, by the way, they pulled off in Spider-Man. You know, Mary Jane is Zenadine Zada, whatever her name is. Don't care for her as MJ, as an actress. But it's not like she's terrible. And again, I have like that, you know, the Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst kind of in my head. So it's not necessarily maybe all her fault. But Spider-Man No Way Home is now suggesting that fans are fed up with woke propaganda. This via the Daily Wire. Get woke, go broke is a popular adage in the conservative community. But is there any truth to it? Some critics are saying that the massive success of the new movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, shows beyond a doubt that the movie audiences are seeking films with substance and heart, not woke messaging, that there's nothing more than thinly veiled propaganda for leftist causes. And some of the proof citing that is No Way Home just smashed box office expectations, raking in $253 million domestically, according to Variety. Before this, no post-coup film had managed to cross $100 million. It didn't just beat it by a little bit, more than doubled it, 2.5 times bigger than any other film that's released. Others have tried, however. Spider-Man's monstrous success came in recent wake of Spielberg's huge West Side Story flop that failed despite an aggressive marketing campaign in Hollywood. Critics blamed a surge in the coof with the new variant going on. People just didn't want to see the movie. No Way Home proves that there's something else going on. Well, look, here's the thing. Musicals have not done good in a very long time. I mean, I don't know what the start of it was, but certainly Cats was a disaster. What is that? There's a other Brooklyn something. I can't think of. The Heights? Was that what it was called? That tanked. This tanked. But thank God Steven Spielberg didn't put subtitles in his movie, lest they offend the native Spanish speakers who didn't want to see that movie anyway. The consensus is that the film was made with the fans in mind and differs from what Disney has done in the past. This is likely because technically, Sony still owns the film rights and creative control despite being under gigantic Disney umbrella. And then there was Breitbart, who called out what many moviegoers and critics were implying but not explicitly saying. Newsflash, if you make a decent movie that seeks to entertain and move instead of lecture and shame, we will show up, John Nolte said. Spider-Man No Way Home does precisely that. You will not only have a great time at the movies again, but there's no woke nonsense. This movie is about one thing, delivering the goods. There's been other movies like that. I remember right after lockdown, Quiet Place Part 2. That movie did pretty decently. It was actually a good movie, too. No woke garbage in that. Strong female character, didn't feel forced, because narratively, you knew why she was the only one left. But on the whole, action movies tend to outperform more thoughtful films. But even these type of storylines have been suffering lately. Black Widow bombed because of overtly feminist themes that superseded the central narrative. Eternals had similar issues because audience saw the extraordinarily politically correct agenda and rebelled against it. I mean, certainly, Eternals was purposely woke. They had gender swapped, race swapped several different positions. Different characters. They kind of put that out front for the media to, do all their free advertising for them. But at the end of the day, you had 10 new characters. I don't even necessarily blame the Eternals flopping so much. I mean, they had an impossible task. Suddenly, I'm supposed to care about 10 new characters most of us don't know anything about? Of course, that's not going to work. Moviegoers are used to experiencing a point of view in entertainment industry that's been woven into the fabric of Hollywood for decades. But we've reached a point where sending a message has become the singular message, and that doesn't resonate with fans. At the very least, they need to be entertained too. No Way Home has Peter Parker visit Doctor Strange with the request that everyone forgets he's a superhero, but our leading man quickly learns that actions have consequences. Well, I don't want to talk about anything else because I don't want to spoil it for myself. See this article by John Trent. Spider-Man No Way Home box office grosses obliterate Kevin Feige's MCU Phase 4 installments. Now, Spider-Man, let's, be somewhat fair here. Spider-Man is massive. It's been massive forever. As long as I've been alive, Spider-Man has been one of the top most popular superheroes, maybe the most popular superhero at various points in my life. So, to put Spider-Man up against Black Widow or Spider-Man, up against, the Eternals, you just knew it was going to do better anyway. Shang-Chi, same thing. Not only did Spider-Man No Way Home bring in a record-breaking domestic grosses, but it also hauled in $334 million internationally for a global haul of $587 million, and that's without communist Chinese market, which, by the way, I think is a good thing. Hopefully it gives, Hollywood some confidence that they don't have to bend the knee and they can have good films without, the almighty Chinese guzzling cream. It took the top spot as the highest grossing domestic weekend in December, unsettling Star Wars The Force Awakens, which had an opening of $247.9 million. It also is the third highest grossing domestic opening of all time, behind Endgame and Infinity War. It's the highest opening weekend in Sony's history, according to Deadline. Spider-Man No Way Home also crushed opening weekend records of Spider-Man's franchise. The previous highest grossing opening weekend was Spider-Man 3, which opened $151 million back in 2007. Even with inflation, that's only $202 million. As far as where the film currently stands in its domestic gross, it's the 17th highest grossing MCU film. After the first weekend, it's already passed Doctor Strange, Shang-Chi, and Legend of the Ten Rings, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Thor, Dark World, and a bunch of others. By the way, past their totals. Spider-Man has already made more money than Black Widow did in its entirety. Of note, the film absolutely crushed Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige's previous MCU Phase 4 installments of Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and Legend of the Ten Rings and Eternals. After having no competition in theaters for over a month, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings only grossed $224 million domestically and $418 million globally. Black Widow grossed $183 million domestically, $375 globally. The film was released day and date on Disney+, and the Walt Disney Company claimed it also earned $60 million in its first weekend on Premier Plus Access. It probably did. Eternals fared the worst of the three MCU films. It's only grossed $163 million domestically and $400 million globally. As for why the film smashed box office records this opening weekend, YouTuber OMB Reviews explains it's movies that have gotten not just good fan reaction, but have been giving fans what they want. Yeah, I mean, this is a $1 billion movie. Easy. In a video for Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel, OMB Reviews pointed out that Spider-Man No Way Home is likely to gross more than Eternals, Black Widow, and Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings combined. He stated that it has now made more, vastly more, than every MCU film that's come out. And in fact, by the end of its run, it will have more, likely, than all three MCU films combined. And this is terrible for Disney. It's damning for the current state of the MCU, because even though people are going to try and say, well, it's the MCU too, yes, there are definitely MCU elements in the movie, but let's be honest here, what's making this film successful are the Sony elements. A part of Sony's history of the franchise, that is what's making this film truly an event film, not really much of what Disney's offering. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for fans of Spider-Man. I'm happy for people that, wanted to, just get out and relax this Christmas season. I'm definitely bummed I haven't been able to see it. I'm not going to watch it on a screener. I'm going to pay to see it. But this kind of proves that, if you there's still success there if you're willing to work hard and deliver a product instead of just shortcutting it and thinking that you're going to get the woke shortcut, because it doesn't work. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.